So we are live. I know no one's probably going to watch this. It's the middle of the day. And I have to apologize because I have no makeup on. Oop, got to keep the camera up here. No makeup on, no eyelash extensions on, no nothing. This is literally like tired mum. I don't think I've ever looked like this on YouTube. Not even when I was giving birth, because I had my eyelash extensions on, so I always kind of look done. But I've been ripping them off during the night feeds, so I need to get them back on. But I thought I'd use this opportunity because Heidi's sick in bed and Blake is feeding, so I'm not going to show you him yet, to tell you, I guess, a little bit about my birth story. Heidi, you want to say hi? Baba. Baba, you say hi? She's really sick. So, yeah, I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this live, but it's going to sit on my channel as, like, a video, I guess. I look so horrific. Like, I actually don't even want to look at myself right now, but I figured I'm never going to get the time to actually do it and edit it, so I may as well just film it, I guess, and be done. But pretty much what happened was I went into labor early. Like with Heidi, I didn't give birth until I was like 41 and a bit weeks. And with Blake, I delivered him at 37 weeks and 6 days. So I wasn't early by any means. Like I was definitely at term, but I was early compared to what I thought I would go at. So it was 37 weeks and 6 days, and in the weeks, I guess the week probably leading up to when I went into labor, I was having like on and off kind of back pain. Like my inner thighs were really sore. I know that sounds so weird, but my inner thighs were like absolutely killing me. So I don't know if that's like a symptom, but like every time I'd go to like open my legs, like to get out of bed or to like do anything, I would be in excruciating pain. So that was kind of, I guess, the first symptom of where I was like, that's different. I knew he was engaged. Oh, I keep going down too low and he's feeding, and milk boobs are huge, literally huge. So I need to be cautious of not doing that. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I was having that. I was also going to the bathroom a lot the day I went into labor. Oh, bless you. Bless you, Bubby. So yeah, oh, listen to her cough. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. You okay? You alright? Never would we ever usually sit inside on a beautiful day. Oh, Bubby. But she's not very well. Do you want to say hi? Oh, darling. You wave? Smile? Nothing? Oh, Baba. You lie down. Lie down. Good girl. So yeah, the day I went into labor, I was going to the bathroom a lot, but like I still worked out that day. I felt fine. Like I didn't have any pains or anything. And then Toby had to go out that night, and he was like, I'm going out. And in my head, I remember thinking, I didn't say anything, but I remember thinking like, oh, I feel like he shouldn't go because I feel like something's going to happen. But of course, I didn't say anything. So he went off to dinner. I put Heidi to bed, and I was having kind of pains like on and off all night, I guess. He got home at about 9 o'clock. And I remember saying like, oh, I'm cramping, but I'm just going to go to bed. I think it's just because I've been going to the bathroom a lot. So I went to bed and I couldn't sleep. I couldn't get comfortable. So I got out of bed after like, I don't know, an hour, and went and had a bath. And Toby went to bed and fell asleep. And I remember I came back into the room at about 11:30. And I remember saying in my head, like, I am in agony. Like something's not right. I don't know if I've got like a bug and I need to keep going to the bathroom, blah blah blah. Hang on, is the chat? I can't even see the chat. Oh, anyway, I didn't know if people are there. How do I see chat? I can't see it. Do I need to turn my phone? Orientation is locked. Turn device back. Oh, anyway, sorry if people are commenting because I can't see anything. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I got into bed. Toby was asleep. I remember thinking like something's happening. So I downloaded an app actually that Kiara told me to download, and it was the tracking your, oh, I just got chat. Hi, Beverly. Hi. Sorry for my appearance. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. And it was like the app where you can like track your contractions, how far apart they are, how long they're lasting for. And I started doing that, and they started off at about 4 minutes apart. Hi, Molly. And then within, I think it was within like 5 minutes after the first contraction. So it was like one contraction, then 4 minutes later, another contraction, 4 minutes later, another contraction. And then like after those first few, they started coming in like at a minute 30, a minute and a half apart, and they were lasting 45 seconds. And progressively they just got more and more like where I had to go, oh, ouch, like, and stop and breathe. So I woke Toby up and I was like, I don't know if this is it. Like, I don't know if I'm being dramatic and I'm just like, this is like pains because I need to go to the bathroom or whatever, but something is happening. And so I called the maternity ward, told them what was happening, and they were like, yeah, come in. It sounds like you're in labor. So I called my mum, and my mum and my sister, usually it would be my mum and my dad, but my dad was away because we didn't think I was going to go into labor. So my mum and my sister came over. Oh, I got to keep that away, but my face is so gross, so I don't want to show my face. So yeah, my mum and my sister came. It was like 1 a.m. by that stage, or close to 1 a.m. I think. And they came and mined Heidi. Obviously she was asleep, and they just like got into my bed and like looked after her in the morning. And Toby and I raced off to the maternity ward, and the second we got there, they put me on the monitor, and the midwife, who was so lovely, if she ever watches this, but I highly doubt she ever will, she was so lovely. Her name was Mel, and she just was like, it's going to happen really, really quickly. You know, your contractions are really, really close, and they're really like strong. And I looked at Toby and I was like, if this is as hard as my contractions are going to get, like I can do this without epidural. And I was so set on having an epidural. So for me, that was like big deal. And I remember saying like, I'm not going to get an epidural. Like if this is it, I'll just do it and I'll be fine. And lucky I did say that, because they told me it was going to happen quite quickly because my contractions were super close. And they hadn't checked me like how far I was dilated or anything. So they didn't know how far along I was, and I didn't know either. They just knew that my contractions were coming in thick and fast, and it was probably going to happen quickly. And I said to Toby, I'm not going to get an epidural because I'll be okay. And lucky I did, because my contractions completely stopped after 3 hours. Like they just stopped. So at about 4 a.m., they put me back on the monitor, and I was like, I'm not feeling anything apart, and not even strong, I guess. They were just like, they were small. She's like, that's weird. And she checked me, and I was only 2 or 3 centimeters, which was like nothing. When I went into labor with Heidi, I was already 6 centimeters and my waters had broken. So it was a very different labor. And she's like, I'm going to call the doctor. And I remember thinking and saying to Toby, like, this isn't it. Like, we're not in labor. We're going to go home. Like, it'll be a couple more weeks before he's here. My doctor came in and she checked me, and she was like, your waters are about to burst. Like, they're hanging out of your cervix. Oh, hang on. Are you done, buddy? Nope. Okay. Yeah, so she was like, I can either break them or you can go walking and try and break them yourself, but they're going to break any second. And I was like, oh, just break them. So she broke them, and literally so much water came out. With Heidi, because my waters broke at home, I just woke up and I was like wet with her, whereas with this, it like gushed out. Oh, my darling. Are you okay? Yeah, it was disgusting. It literally like flew out, and I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, no, it's good, it's good. And so like, it's crazy. Like, I'll show you on his head when he's not on my boob. When she broke my waters, he was so low that the hook that they use, like the little thing that she put on her finger, cut his head. So he was like right there. Like, it's crazy. Oh, Molly, no, Heidi's really sick. Are you sick? She doesn't look sick right now, but you are, huh? Poor baby girl. Oops, sorry guys, totally just flushed you. What was I saying? Totally forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, and then so she broke my waters, and then my contractions came in so strong, and I was like, give me the epidural. And after, so that was, I think that she broke my waters. By that time, it was like 7. The contraction started around 8. And then by like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 hours later, he was born, and it was 3 little pushes, and he came out. I think it was actually 2. Maybe it was 3. No, it was 3 little pushes. Wasn't even 10 minutes. He came out. I thought he was going to be tiny because he was early, but he was 3.68 kilos and was a good-sized baby. If he had been in there as long as Heidi, he would have been huge. And that was pretty much it. I didn't tear. I didn't have any real difficulties, or haven't had any real difficulties since giving birth. I felt really, really well. Bleeding has been minimal compared to what I had with Heidi. So yeah, recovery's been really good. I'm about to see my doctor. It's only been 3 weeks, but I'm going to see my doctor early to see if I can start exercising, because I don't have any separation or anything like that. My body's feeling really good, and I'm going crazy not exercising. So I'm going to ask about that. The only thing post having him is my skin is really dry. So my skin's been really weird. So I think my hormones are like leveling out, and that's pretty much about it. My weight is back to what it was pre-pregnancy, a couple of kilos more, but pretty much at pre-pregnancy. And what else? It's all loose, obviously. It's not, doesn't look the same, but weight-wise, it's back there. So I'll make a postpartum video and do that like properly, and sit down and do that. I just saw I had some questions. How do I see it? Oh no, Molly, you're sick. You poor baby. Yeah, Heidi's sick. That's why we're in bed. It's such a beautiful day outside, but there's no way I'm taking her near any kids or near at a park. She's not well enough, and I don't want to make anyone else sick. What else have we got? He came so fast. How was your reaction? I just started bawling my eyes out. You can see in the video, the labor video, when he came out, I just started crying. I was really worried, and this sounds awful, but I was so worried that when he came out that I wouldn't love him as much as I loved Heidi, and I was so scared that it wouldn't be an instant love, but it is. Like, it's so overwhelming. You fall in love with them as much as you love your first. You fall in love all over again, and you didn't even realize there was room to love another as much as you love your first, but there's room, and you do. So yeah, I was just overwhelmed with love. So I started crying, and I looked at Toby and fell in love with Toby all over again. So it was just, yeah, it was very overwhelming. Sorry guys, I'm reading the chat now. So you went all natural. Wow, no, I didn't go all natural. I had an epidural in the end. Did I say that? I don't even think I said that. So she broke my waters, and then I got an epidural. But yeah, so I didn't go all natural at all. But I kind of knew I wouldn't anyway. I have to see another human being. Have you had a postpartum reaction? A postpartum reaction is in, I'm not quite sure what that means. Postpartum, though, has been really good. Like, recovery's been so much easier this time around. But yeah, it's been really, really good. What else have we got here? I had an erupted eardrum. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you poor thing. Jeez Louise, that of an erupted eardrum. That sounds so painful. Here we go. Kiara, hi. Look how weird I look without eyelash extensions on. Oh, and no, obviously no mascara, no makeup. My eyelashes are like blonde. It's so weird. What else have we got? Questions? Like after birth. The second I gave birth, I felt fine. So I got the epidural where it only is like your middle section that you can't feel. Like you can still move your legs around. So by the time he was born, it had worn off so much that I could stand up. I had a shower. We brought Heidi in within like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I can't even remember. Then my family came in, and then Toby's family came in, and it was a very straightforward, I guess, postpartum initially, and then in the weeks like after that, it's been really good, really straightforward. No tearing, no stitches, no pain really. So yeah, I've been really lucky. Did you find your first or second birth easier? They were both not easy, but they were both enjoyable, I guess. So with Heidi, I didn't really know what I was in for, and I had like the textbook birth where your waters break and then you don't have contractions straight away, and then they finally start and they don't start too bad and then they get bad, and then 5 hours later she was there. So it was a really quick and straightforward birth, I guess. I had an epidural. Oh, Bubby. Are you okay? Poor Bubby. I had an epidural with both of the babies, so I can't really comment on like the pain towards the end because I didn't really have any. So they were both pretty straightforward. I've been really lucky, touch wood. I don't even know where wood is. There's some wood behind here. Yeah, they've been really straightforward births. His was longer if you classify like the early contractions, but then once my waters broke, he was about the same. He was an hour quicker, but his all over birth was harder. I have to say, like in the lead up to giving birth, like the weeks prior to giving birth, I felt way more with him. So I had more like symptoms that labor was coming, whereas with her, I had nothing. So yeah, I guess they were both pretty easy, I guess. Molly and Kiara saying hi, so cute. What's your favorite thing about having 2 kids? Well, it's only been 3 weeks, but I would have to say the bond that they're slowly forming. Heidi initially like just ignored him, wanted nothing to do with him, but she's coming around massively to him, starting to want to help, like put his little socks on and help with his nappy, and she'll go and get his nappy. And some days she's like, no, brother, don't come near me, but she's definitely getting better. So the bond that they're slowly forming. And also I love just having 2 babies, 2 very different babies. Blake, which I'll do in his update video, is so different to what Heidi was. Heidi was like a magical unicorn baby that slept like 6 hours in 6-hour blocks from the get-go. She didn't even really cry. Like she was just a really chilled baby. He's definitely chilled out, but he's I'd have to say he is far more vocal and he doesn't sleep as well as she did. He's not horrible, but he's not amazing. So he's just a different little fella. He's very clingy, which I kind of love. And careful, puppy. And he likes to sleep on me. So yeah, and Heidi was very independent. My hair is killing me. Can you tell? It's like so dirty. What else have we got? Oh, yeah. Do you think it was a fast or slow birth? Who do you think he looks like? If you asked Toby if it was fast or slow, he would say so slow because we were there in the hospital for 12 hours. But the birth didn't get bad or tough, I should say, until like 8 a.m. in the morning. And that was only like 4 or 5 hours before he was born. So he would say slow. I would say fast, I guess. What else have we got? Who do I think he looks like? So Toby and Toby's whole family have very brown eyes, and Heidi actually has brown eyes as well. I have blue eyes, which you can tell. This little guy so far has blue eyes, and I never thought I'd have a blue-eyed baby because of Toby's genes. Like, they're so dark. His family have such dark eyes, and no one that we know of in his family has like blue eyes. So I didn't think it was like possible to have a blue-eyed baby, but it is. I guess. So he's got blue eyes for now. I know they could change. I think he looks more like me as a baby. Heidi looks so much like her dad as a baby. But again, he's only 3 weeks old, so he's probably going to change pretty dramatically in the next couple of weeks. How old's your little girl and the difference between? So Heidi is 2.5. There is exactly 2.5 years and 1 day between them. So she was born on the 6th of Feb and he was born on the 7th of August. So there's exactly 2 years, 6 months and 1 day between them, which is crazy. I always had hoped for a 2 to 2.5 year age gap, and I think that's probably what we'll wait for the next one as well. So yeah, it's been pretty good. She's a pretty good little lady. What's been your most challenging thing yet? I think the guilt. I know that sounds weird. So Heidi has always had me to herself. Like, it's always just been Mummy and Heidi and Mummy doing everything together. And so I feel guilty when I'm not as present with her. So like in the night, if like she's been sick, so she wakes up every now and then, or she woke up last night, and I would usually be the one that would go into her and like tend to her, but I was feeding him when she woke up. And so Toby went in, and I was like, I feel so guilty because usually that's me, but she loves her dad. She hasn't noticed she's like so happy, so content. She's got my mum and her sisters at her beck and call all the time. And I'm pretty good. Like I can breastfeed and walk around, and I do it all the time. So we do a lot of the same stuff, but I just inside feel guilty even though she hasn't noticed anything, I guess. Like she's so content and happy. Are you happy?
Happy.
You are happy. I love you. So yeah, that's yeah, it's been pretty okay in that sense. Okay, I'm just pulling up the chat again. What is the age gap between your two children? I got watching, so I think I missed it. No, that's cool. 2.5 years. So I had a miscarriage last year, and it would have been exactly 2 years between those two babies, and that was kind of what we were hoping for. But 2 to 2.5 was like our goal when we started trying for number 2. So they're exactly 2 years and 6 months between them and 1 day. She was born on the 6th of Feb. He's on the 7th of August. So pretty much exactly 2.5 years, which is crazy. What other questions are there? I think that's a good gap. Still close together, but she would understand a lot more than a little 1-year-old. Yeah, she definitely does. She also is so independent. Like she is from the get-go since she was born. She has been so independent. So she is so not fazed by him being here. She doesn't care that I breastfeed him all the time. She doesn't care that he's on me in the carrier. She just is so happy to play, and as long as I like interact with her and like we go out and do things, she's so happy. She's always been like that. Even before I had him, she was very much just wanting to be an independent little thing. So much so that when I went to daycare for the first time, I was the one crying when I dropped her off, and she literally goes to me, "Bye, Mum." And I was like, "Bye, I love you." What else have we got? Sorry, I'm reading the chat here. I answered that. How many more kids do you consider having, and what genders do you want them to be? Such a good question. I've always wanted 4 kids, I think because I'm one of 4. Toby wants 3, so we'll definitely have another one in probably, again, 2 years. Hopefully it's like if we're blessed enough to have another one, then hopefully we'll have another one. I don't really mind on genders. Literally gender couldn't be phased. I guess maybe a boy because they'll be close in age and they'll be best mates, but then a girl who really cares. And just because you're the same gender doesn't mean you're going to be best friends, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not really fussed. And I would love to have a 4th, but we'll just see if we can A, afford it, and B, if Toby comes around to it. So yeah, and gender, again, like, doesn't really bother me. What else have we got? Hey, hi, Sun. Is it Sun or Sunflower? How did you choose your kids' names? So Heidi, funny story, when we found out she was a girl, we had picked 3 names that we really liked, and they were Layla, Adeline, and Evie. And we were like dead set, like she was pretty much going to be Adeline. And when she came out, Toby looked at me and he was like, she's just like not an Adeline. And I was like, no, she's like definitely not an Adeline. She had these little chunky face. She just looked so, I don't know, just wasn't Adeline to me anyway, and to him. And he came out, he goes, what about Heidi? And I was like, I love that name. I had mentioned it to him earlier in the pregnancy, and he wasn't like so keen on it. And when she came out, he just said it, and we were like, it's perfect. Like, she's a Heidi. So that was a bit random, her name, but love her name. And Blake is named after my dad. So I always knew my firstborn boy I wanted to name Blake. And Toby and my dad are really, really close. They're probably like each other's best mates, which is nice. And he was really for it. So that's how he got his name. What other questions? Is there a question? How was the birth different this time than with Heidi? I kind of answered that before, but it was just longer in the sense that, well, longer if you include everything, like the early contractions and things. Oh, Papa, are you all right? She looks at me like, I'm not okay, but she's fine. I forgot what I was just even answering. Hang on, I got to pull up the question again. So yeah, it was pretty similar in a sense that like they both saw 3 pushes under 10 minutes and came out. Both had an epidural. Both were pretty straightforward. The only thing was Heidi had my waters broke, and was born at 41 weeks, whereas he was born just before 38 weeks, and my waters were broken. They didn't break naturally. So that was probably like the only real difference. Does Heidi ever get jealous of Blake or demand your attention if you have been super busy caring for him? So far, no. She's... Why are you sorry? Don't be sorry. I love you. She's very independent. Like, he's boobing right now. She just loves to be on her own. Like, she's not a very, like, affectionate child. Occasionally, she'll come give me a cuddle, but not so often. She knows, like, I'll say, like, Blake needs to have his food, and she'll say, Blake needs boobie. Blake, you have his boobie. And she's very good at waiting. Like, if I say to her, you know, like this morning, for example, she wanted to go for a walk, and she wasn't feeling 100%, but we went outside, and I said to her, Mummy needs to feed Blakey, and then we'll go for a walk. And she was like, okay, Heidi, wait. Like, she's pretty good. Obviously, she has her toddler moments, but it's not usually about him. It's because I said we can't go scooting, or I said she can't watch the TV, or she wanted to do drawing, but she just drawn on the floor, and I said she can't have her drawing back, and that's usually what she gets upset about. It's not so much about oh, you turn the light on. About sharing me. So she's been pretty good so far, but again, it's only just been 3 weeks, so she could totally change. Naughty behavior. I mean, she's 2.5. She's going to be naughty. That's just what they do. But we do 3 warnings, and then we do the corner, and she knows. Like, if I say 1, 2, 3, like, by the time we get to 2, she usually stops. Sometimes she doesn't, and she has a full-blown tantrum, and I'll pick her up, and she'll be kicking me, and it'll be crazy, and she'll be screaming, and I'll want to scream. But most of the time, we're pretty good. She's pretty easygoing, to be honest. What else have we got? Would you ever consider New Zealand one day? I would love to meet you. Oh, I'd love to meet you as well. I've been to New Zealand. I actually did a netball tour around New Zealand in year 12. Such a beautiful country. Like, it is so beautiful. So I would definitely come back 100%. And I'd love to meet you too one day. How do you deal with the tantrum? Did I answer that? Oh, the transition. Here we go. Transition from 1 to 2 kids. So far, it's been good. I don't ever say this to a new parent, or don't ever repeat this, but it's going to be on YouTube forever, is I find the newborn stage easier than like the toddler stage, because they literally just feed and sleep and are happy to just be held and can't run away from you. Whereas toddlers will run away, they will kick, they will scream, they are very vocal, they will tell you if they don't want to do something. Whereas a newborn, if you need to go and get a coffee or you need to do something, I'll just pop him in the car and we can go and do it. So it's pretty easy. Don't get me wrong, the lack of sleep is hard, and adjusting to it is hard, but I found adjusting to 1 baby harder than adjusting to 2 babies. So far we've been pretty good. Can I have that, please? Thank you. Don't play with that. They're mummy's pills. She's currently playing my Voltaren. What else do we got? If you come to New Zealand, what city would you go to? Well, my best friend has a lot of family in Christchurch, so I'd love to go back to Christchurch. Thank you. Auckland, I've been to a few times. Rotorua, Wellington. I'd love to go to them all, but I guess wherever most people are. I don't really know. I haven't thought about it, but I do love New Zealand. What else is there? There's no real other questions, and I feel like because this is going to be a video that sits on my YouTube channel, I should probably stop. But that was our birth. It was a magical birth. I'm already excited to do it again. I weirdly love giving birth. I love the whole experience of it. I love the lead up to it. I love the anticipation. It's such a magical process to be able to go through, and I feel so blessed to be able to go through it, because I know one of my best friends, for example, is desperate to have a baby and to be pregnant and to experience it. So I feel really, really lucky that I have been able to do it twice, and hopefully a third and maybe a fourth. There's a few more questions. Is breastfeeding easy this time around with Heidi? Breastfeeding with Heidi was really good. I was really lucky. She loved the boob. She latched on. We had no issues. I never had cracked nipples. And I know that's so annoying, because I wish I could say I had cracked nipples, you should use this, or I had a tough time, I did this to overcome it. But I was really lucky that I didn't have any issues with her, and I've been really lucky that I haven't had any issues with him either. I did get mastitis with Heidi at about 6 weeks postpartum, but that was the only real hurdle we had to come over breastfeeding. And so far, so good with this little guy as well. I have a lot of milk, and he didn't even lose weight in the hospital. You know how newborns were meant to like lose weight? He just like maintained his weight. And then he had put on, when the nurse came 3 days after I left hospital, he put on 250 grams. So he's growing a lot. He feeds a lot. I feed on demand. I always did with Heidi, and I have it with him. So yeah. What else have we got? What is your favorite part in the newborn stage? The cuddles, for sure. The cuddles. And just literally every day they change. So I take a picture of him every day, and if I look at the picture from yesterday, he looks different to today. And he's far more cuddly and wants to be held and snuggled, and he sleeps on me. And Heidi never really did that. She liked to be in her bassinet wrapped and slept like a trooper, whereas he doesn't like to be off me. And sometimes even transferring him to someone else, he'll scream, and then when he gets back on me, he's calm again. And it's kind of nice to be like needed and wanted. Oh, you turn the light on and off. So yeah, that's probably my favorite thing, is just the cuddles and just watching them change every day. So that's it from me. I can't believe this video has been 32 minutes long. I'll show you Blake. I've just got to cover myself up. Hang on a second. Oh. I got to burp your brother. He's got milk all over his face. Do you want to come hold your brother and you can show everyone on the video? Okay. Oh. Here he is. He's got milk coming out of his face. Out of his mouth. He's all red. You say hi, puppy. All right, so I'm gonna go. I've got to burp him actually, and I will see you guys. You want to say bye? Bye. Yeah, look here. Wave. Say bye, guys. Bye, guys. All right, bye, guys. I will see you in my next video. Sorry that this was a live and not a. Oh, he needs to be burped. Not a. He's gonna cry. Not a properly filmed video, but I will see you guys next time. Bye. How do I end a live video? I don't even know. I think here we go.